Hello, I'm Eyerusalem Abrham. You're watching Infofeed. In a pivotal escalation of the 2026 Middle East war, the Israel Defense Forces (IDF) conducted a high-stakes precision strike on March 25, 2026, targeting and eliminating Hassan Mohammad Bashir in the Hajr region of southern Lebanon. Bashir was the preeminent tactical mind behind Hezbollah's anti-tank missile array, a unit responsible for the group's most lethal asymmetrical successes against Israeli armored divisions. His career spanned decades of conflict, transforming localized insurgent tactics into a sophisticated, laser-guided doctrine of attrition. His assassination occurred alongside a direct Israeli strike against IRGC naval leadership in Iran, marking a historical shift in the conflict, signaling the systematic dismantling of Hezbollah's veteran command structure and the collapse of the Shield of Lebanon strategy.
To trace the history of Hassan Mohammad Bashir is to trace the evolution of Hezbollah from a ragtag militia into the world's most heavily armed non-state actor. Bashir began his journey in the late 1990s, during the final years of the Israeli presence in the security zone of southern Lebanon. While other commanders focused on infantry maneuvers or suicide bombings, Bashir became obsessed with the physics of the hunt. He recognized early on that Hezbollah could never match the IDF in a symmetrical tank battle. Instead, he pioneered the use of the ATGM, or anti-tank guided missile, as a strategic equalizer. Under his stewardship, the unit evolved through several historical phases. The Sagar era, on early 2000s, utilizing older Soviet-era wire-guided missiles, Bashir trained small mobile cells to harass Israeli patrols. The 2006 watershed. During the Second Lebanon War, Bashir was a rising star in the Hajr salient. He was instrumental in the Battle of Wadi Saluki, where Hezbollah's anti-tank teams inflicted heavy losses on Israeli Merkava tanks, a moment that defined his career and cemented his status within the Redwan elite. And the third, the Cornet evolution on 2010 up to 2020s, following the Syrian civil war, where Hezbollah gained massive combat experience. Bashir oversaw the integration of the 9M133 Cornet and its Iranian twin, the Delavi. He moved from simple ambushes to creating kill zones that utilized complex topography and thermal imaging to strike targets from over 5 kilometers away. By 2024, Bashir was no longer just a field commander, he was the grandmaster of the region. He oversaw the construction of nature reserves, elaborate underground tunnel networks carved into the limestone hills of southern Lebanon, allowing his teams to live, eat, and launch missiles without ever appearing on Israeli satellite imagery. The year 2026 began with a fragile peace that many hoped would last. However, following the high-profile assassinations of Iranian leadership in early March, the ring of fire surrounding Israel ignited. On March 2, 2026, Hezbollah launched a massive barrage of 300 rockets, signaling the official end of the 2024 ceasefire. As the IDF launched Operation Northern Shield 2 on March 16, the ground war became a chase match between Israeli armor and Bashir's hidden missile cells. Bashir took personal command of the defense of the second line of villages, a tactical belt designed to bleed the IDF before they could reach the Litani River. In the days leading up to his death, intelligence reports suggested Bashir was becoming increasingly mobile and increasingly exposed, with Israeli ground forces clearing out the border villages of Meis el-Jabal and Blida. Bashir's primary nature reserves were being neutralized. He was forced to move his command center north to the Hajr area, a deep forested valley known for its tactical difficulty. Here, he attempted to reintegrate his fractured units. He began a crash course training program for younger recruits, trying to teach them the Bashir method, how to wait for the exact moment an Israeli tank exposes its rear engine vent before firing. The night of March 25, 2026 will likely be remembered by historians as the moment the proxy war died and the direct war began. In Lebanon, Bashir was meeting with several cell leaders in a reinforced structure in Hajr. They were planning a massive coordinated ambush on the Israeli 91st Division, At 11:42 p.m., a pair of Israeli Spice precision bombs launched from an F-15I struck the building with surgical accuracy. The structure was leveled. Bashir and his top lieutenants were killed instantly. In Iran, simultaneously, nearly 1,000 miles away, Israeli long-range drones struck a secret naval briefing in Bandar Abbas, killing Ali Riza Tangsri, or IRGC Navy commander. This was a clear message to the axis of resistance. The commanders directing the fight on the ground, like Bashir, and the patrons funding them, like Tangsri, would be haunted at the same hour. The death of Hassan Mohammad Bashir has left a gaping void in Hezbollah's operational capability. While the group still possesses thousands of missiles, they have lost the man who understood the rhythm of the terrain. Since his elimination, Hezbollah's anti-tank strikes have become less coordinated, often firing prematurely and missing targets due to a lack of senior spotters, who Bashir personally mentored. In Beirut, the government, now technically at odds with Hezbollah, used the news of his death to further distance itself from the group's military actions, though the streets remained tense. The end of the border sentinel. For 20 years, Bashir was the sentinel that prevented Israeli armor from moving freely. With his removal, the IDF's maneuverability in southern Lebanon has increased significantly, leading to the rapid capture of several key heights overlooking the Litani.
Bashir's history is the history of a man who mastered the art of hiding in plain sight, only to be found by the very technology he spent a lifetime trying to outrun.